The Vikings are not stopping and are acting quickly in the market to acquire big names. In this video, you will be the first to know the main news about the Minnesota Vikings. Welcome to Report Vikings, your daily Minnesota Vikings news channel. Today, we bring you two pieces of news that are shaking up the NFL world and could directly impact the future of the Vikings. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Oh, turn on notifications so you don't miss any details about your favorite team. Now, let's go to the first news. Jalen Ramsey is traded to the Vikings and promises to transform Minnesota's defense. In a surprising but strategic move, the Minnesota Vikings have just addressed one of their biggest defensive shortcomings for the 2025 NFL season. The team officially announced the arrival of veteran and secondary star Jalen Ramsey, acquired in a trade with the Miami Dolphins. The deal comes at a crucial time, as the Vikings look to consolidate a competitive roster and take a firm step toward the postseason. The move is not just any hiring. Ramsey, a six-time Pro Bowl selection who has had notable stints with the Jaguars, Rams, and Dolphins, is an immediately impactful figure on any defense. At 30 years old, he continues to demonstrate a fit physique, sharp instincts, and natural leadership, everything Minnesota needed to elevate its secondary. Despite a strong defensive performance in 2024 under coordinator Brian Flores, the Vikings' cornerback position remained a point of concern. Byron Murphy was until then the only undisputed name in the cast, while names like Isaiah Rodgers, Mekhi Blackmon, and Jeff Okudah were still looking for affirmation. Ramsey's arrival changes this picture drastically. With him on the roster, the Vikings not only gain depth at the position, but also a veteran presence capable of mentoring young players and stepping up in decisive moments. All indications are that Ramsey will form a solid duo with Murphy, with the potential to become one of the most respected in the conference. Ramsey's departure from Miami was the result of a mutual agreement. Despite having a productive season, in 2024, with 2 interceptions, 546 yards allowed, and 70.8% completions allowed in his direction, the high value of his contract and the new direction planned by the Dolphins led to the end of the partnership. The market, however, was not easy. Most interested franchises were faced with salary issues. But the Minnesota Vikings, aware of opportunities and with space on the roster, saw Ramsey as the ideal piece for their aggressive defensive scheme, especially after the confirmation that Jair Alexander would remain in Green Bay. Brian Flores is known for leading intense, versatile defenses full of tactical variations. And that's exactly where Jalen Ramsey feels at home. In addition to his ability in man-to-man coverage, Ramsey also shines when called upon to pressure the quarterback. In 2024, he had 31 pressures and 4 sacks. Impressive numbers for a cornerback. His reading ability, combined with his aggressiveness and versatility, promises to further enhance Flores' system. It's no wonder that the coordinator has publicly declared his admiration for Ramsey's style of play in the past, and now he will have the chance to explore it to the fullest. Ramsey's arrival isn't just a technical reinforcement. It's a clear message from the Vikings management. The team wants to win now. In an increasingly competitive NFC, the Minnesota franchise is banking on the combination of youth and experience to seek a spot in the playoffs and, who knows, dream bigger. If he can stay healthy and adapt quickly to his new surroundings, Ramsey could be just the difference the Vikings defense needs to go from promising to dominant. Carson Wentz, the ideal veteran quarterback to guide J.J. McCarthy and strengthen the Vikings roster. The Minnesota Vikings enter the 2025 season with high expectations, a rebuilding roster, and a promising name under center. J.J. McCarthy, recently drafted and considered the future of the franchise. However, in a league where experience at the helm of the offense still makes all the difference, the Vikings know that relying exclusively on a rookie, no matter how talented, is a risk. And that's where a familiar name comes in, controversial for some, but extremely logical for others. Carson Wentz. With McCarthy and Brett Rypien as the only quarterbacks currently under contract, Minnesota is almost certain to add another name to the QB room. And although the timing is important, for financial and strategic reasons, the ideal name already seems to be drawn up behind the scenes. This is not meaningless speculation, but a prediction based on connections, needs, and most importantly, context. Why does Carson Wentz make so much sense for the Vikings? Carson Wentz is no longer the young prodigy who nearly won the MVP in 2017, before his knee injury. Today, at 32, he is a quarterback who has seen it all in the NFL. Effusive praise, harsh criticism, trades, uncertainty, and most recently, quiet performances as a backup in Kansas City. But it is precisely this baggage that makes it valuable. He wouldn't be brought in to be a star. His role, if hired, would be clear: to be mentor, stability, and emergency insurance for McCarthy. Wentz has played for 5 franchises: the Eagles, Colts, Commanders, Rams, and Chiefs, and knows how to handle the pressures, expectations, and nuances of leading an offense. Plus, his connection to current Vikings quarterbacks coach Josh McCown makes it all the more natural. Josh McCown makes no secret of his admiration for Wentz. The two shared the locker room in Philadelphia, and McCown always praised the qualities of the then starter: tactical intelligence, improvisational ability, high character, and a still respectable arm. In an interview after his first year with Wentz, McCown put it bluntly: 4,000 yards without a single receiver over 500. That's incredible. Now, with real influence within the Vikings coaching staff, McCown could be the missing link in bringing Wentz on board. Just as he helped lure Sam Darnold to Minnesota previously, he can do it again with a veteran quarterback he trusts. The timing problem, and the value of compensatory choices. But why haven't the Vikings signed Wentz? Or any other veteran? Yet? The answer lies in the NFL regulations and roster-building strategies. If the team signs a free agent like Wentz before the 2025 draft, it risks losing one of the valuable 2026 compensatory picks, rewards given to teams that lose more players than they sign in free agency. These choices are determined by factors such as the value of the contract and the playing time of the athletes involved. So waiting until April 29th at 3 p.m. Central Time, the official date when signings no longer affect compensation, could be a crucial strategic move for the team. Other options on the radar, but none as connected as Wentz. The Vikings have already been linked to other names on the market. Drew Lock, for example, has experience as a starter and a powerful arm, and could be a career-changing bet. Trey Lance is talented, but still very raw. Joe Flacco impressed for the Browns in 2024, and Teddy Bridgewater, with his history in Minnesota, will always be a favorite name, although his durability is anyone's guess. Other veterans like Case Keenum, C.J. Beathard, Desmond Ridder, and Jeff Driscoll also appear as options, but none of them offer the same combination of familiarity with the system, history with the coaching staff, and mentoring skills that Carson Wentz brings to the table. This is not a piece suggesting that Carson Wentz will turn the Vikings into Super Bowl contenders. The proposal is more subtle, and perhaps more important, to help prepare J.J. McCarthy to take the reins of one of the youngest and most ambitious rosters in the NFL. With the right structure, a mentor who understands the weight of the position, and a cohesive coaching staff, Minnesota can accelerate its rookies' development without putting itself at risk in the event of an injury or performance fluctuation. And in this scenario, Wentz stops being a name from the past and becomes an important bridge to the future.